Welcome back to On the Fly. With playoffs less than 2 weeks away, we thought we'd put you on the hot seat, Reader, and ask some burning questions because everyone wants to know how things are going to shake out, and we like to maybe look into our crystal ball and try to see. So with that, let's start with your hometown Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Do you think this is finally the year that the Leafs can advance past the first round?
Well, I think they can. I think they have the ability to do it. It's all going to come down to Jack Campbell and goaltending. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they can score goals. They've got the top power play in the National Hockey League, and they've got the top goal scorer in the National Hockey League. Mitch Marner, Matthews, they're as dynamic as any dynamic duo in the National Hockey League. Tavares and Nylander, they can put the puck on the net. They can score plenty of goals. So you're not necessarily going to outscore them. It is whether or not the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be able to keep the puck out of their own net. And it's all going to come down to the health of Jack Campbell. They brought Giordano in. Jake Muzzin's got to get back in the lineup. The depth on defense is there. They've got excellent forwards. It's going to be, can Jack Campbell get this team to a second round? Yes, he can. In my opinion, he can. Doesn't matter who they play. They're one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the National Hockey League. All depends on who wins and loses in any given day. They're right there. They've got all the skill. Top teams have top goaltenders. Jack Campbell, in the year of 2021, was one of the best stats-wise.
Right.
Since Christmas and in 2022, it hasn't been the same with some injuries. If he can get his game back and he can find that form, yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs can move on to the second round in a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Basically 20 years. Real quick follow-up, though, there. Right now, they're slated to play Tampa. Would you rather play Tampa, if you're Toronto, than have Boston sneak up into the 3 spot and end up facing Boston, the team that continually beats them in the playoffs?
You got to beat the best. And I think for the Toronto Maple Leafs, this team, most of these guys don't remember what happened against Boston a few years back. Right? So most of these guys are fresh with it, and they're probably thinking, you know what? Let's get Tampa out of the way early, and I think that would be the better challenge. I think it'd be more fun to play the Stanley Cup champs. The fans definitely do not want to play Boston. The players don't. The players, they don't care. And most of those guys don't remember the last time that
that's a good
tractor trailer
went
sideways.
Yeah, exactly. The Leafs have punched their ticket. They're in the playoffs. We know that much. Vegas still outside the top 8 in the Western Conference, and that shocks so many people. They seem like they're in win-now mode every single year since their inaugural year when they went to the Cup final. Do you think the Golden Knights can indeed get back into the playoff picture, or are they running out of time?
Well, that's the key. They can if they win every game that they play.
Wow.
And that is going to be a tall task. For them to get in, if they win every game, they're going to end up with 99 points. Now, if Los Angeles wins every game and they don't play, they will have 100 points.
Oof.
And it'd be crazy to think that every team's going to have 100 points to get in. That's to get in third in the Pacific, because I do think that 5 teams, with Nashville and Dallas ahead of 5 teams from the Central, will get in. So when you look at the schedule, yes, they can do it, but there are some tough games. The Capitals are gearing up. They're scoring all sorts of goals. They're gearing their game up. The Dallas Stars, that could be that one team in the Central possibly fighting for that last playoff spot. That could be the game.
Circle April 26th.
That's it exactly. That Vegas and Dallas could be trying to decide, is it going to be the 4th team from the Pacific, or is it going to be Dallas Stars winning? And the last game of the season, the St. Louis Blues. Now, everybody's that's going to be a tough one. Well, maybe the St. Louis Blues have clinched the spot.
True.
Maybe the St. Louis Blues decide to sit some players. So let's say they're 5-5, and they're coming in against the game against St. Louis. They win that game. That could get them into the Stanley Cup playoffs, providing Los Angeles loses a game. That's where it gets to. So, yes, they can do it. They have the skill. They've got to get Robin Lehner back. They need to get the number 1 goaltender back, because as you move through this final 6 games, and these games are going to get big, and you do not need to have the youngster in net. You need to have Leonard in net. They're healthy, they can score, but they've got to win every game, which is what? This much room for error?
I mean, that's crazy.
They can. I'm not sure they will.
Yeah.
But they can.
Crazy to think Vegas has never missed the postseason in franchise history. Their long, illustrious franchise history. This would be a first for them. All kidding aside, I think it'd be good for hockey for them to get back in. We'll see if they can do it. Marc-Andre Fleury would certainly help the Golden Knights' chances, but he's no longer in Vegas, of course. They didn't go out and get him, try to mend fences at the deadline. Instead, he went to Minnesota. That begs the question, does Minnesota have the best goalie tandem between Fleury and Cam Talbot?
You're asking me that? You're from Minnesota?
I mean, I'm hoping you're answering.
Well, I'm going to say they might have the second. They definitely have. I think, the most experience in tandem. Now, they don't have Vasilevsky, and they don't have maybe a Shesterkin, who might be the best goaltenders out there right now. But as far as a duo, you got Marc-Andre Fleury, you got Cam Talbot, you got two experienced goaltenders, you got two goaltenders who are not going to be fazed by, up or down a game in a playoff series. And that's why I would think that these two guys in that regard have it. But stats-wise, I might be turning a little bit. And this Marc-Andre Fleury, that's only Minnesota's. But I think Colorado might be the team.
You would.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I guess I kind of have to go that way. But I really like what Bill Guerin did bringing Marc-Andre Fleury in.
Yeah.
I think it really put focus on the goaltenders, and the experience of both Talbot and Fleury give them that edge as playoffs move on. And in Colorado, Pavel Francouz hasn't really had the playoff history with some injuries.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence, but I'm going with Colorado.
Okay. Well, the burning question everybody has is whether or not the Tampa Bay Lightning can three-peat, something that hasn't been done in the National Hockey League since the Islanders won 4 way back in the 80s. I think we're going on, 40 years ago now? Like, it's been a minute. Do you think the Lightning can do it this year?
Yes, I think they can.
Oh, my goodness.
I've said all along you have to beat the champs. And until someone beats the champs, in my mind, they're still the team to beat, and they're still the contending Stanley Cup winners. What's different on this team? Their third, fourth line? Their star power is still there. When you check boxes of Stanley Cup winners, Stanley Cup teams that are contending, they can score. You've got Stamkos, you've got Kucherov, you've got Point. The list goes on and on. The secondary scoring is there. You've got winners with Palat and Killorn. Oh, you've got Corey Perry, and you've got Patrick Maroon on that fourth line. Right. And you've got players who have played the roles and can still achieve scoring-wise. That's check box number one. But check the other box on defense. Oh, I'm sorry. You got, let's see, Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev, Chernak. The list goes on and on. Not too shabby at all. Box number 3, goaltending. Andrei Vasilevsky. Well, he's only got 2 Stanley Cup rings. And let me see. Last season, correct me if I'm wrong, on every clinching game, he had a shutout.
It was incredible.
In all 4 rounds. So how do you not say that they could do it again?
They
check all the boxes.
I hear you.
So yes, they could do it again, and I'd love to see them do it. I think it'd be fantastic. I love
really
dynasties. Love the dynasties. Teams to hate is the dynasty.
Yeah, they're certainly the ones with the target on their back.